Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. And this is general or collective, so just make sure you take what works for you and use your intuition, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then. That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. Sorry, I was doing different readings for the astrological readings, and I just am making sure that you can see this entire reading. So I did a little meditation with my quartz here regarding this reading, because I was a little bit, okay, why is grass greener on the other side with a cup of love coming in? So we have the King of Cups energy. And the King of Cups is generally like he's one of four kings in the minor arcana. This is generally someone who has a solid love offer that they want to bring forth. He's sitting out the middle of all this rough water, and rough water in tarot represents, volatile or mixed emotions. It can also represent chaotic time in someone's life. He is calm, though, and this is talking about the King of Cups energy. He's the most emotionally available of all the kings because he has a good control of his emotions. So this sometimes can represent that you want to make sure you have control of your emotions. There's a cup of love. Now, this could be you wanting to give someone a cup of love, or this could be someone wanting to approach you with a cup of love. Because he is so intuitive about it with emotion, he doesn't feel that this is the perfect time. He does have his right foot forward, like he's ready to offer this cup of love, but he is waiting until the water calms down a little bit. The emotions die down, and whatever chaos is around, this could be chaos around him, or it could be chaos around you. And the card that came out from my oracle, and my oracle is Tales from the Vector, and this is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I started this oracle back in 2007, and I've been working on it, and I'm bringing it out now. I'm working with the information so that I can play with it in real life. And so I've had a lot of opportunity for that in the readings. The perception card is talking about the grass is greener on the other side because it's fake. And it's talking about, this painting is actually an ink drawing that I did when I was, from a vision that I had when I was in Peru in ceremony with shamans. And it's talking about, create the two sides of the brain, basically, and two ways of looking at things, this way or that way. And sometimes it's interesting because this quite often can be the emperor's energy kind of controlling my way or the highway. So that we have a King of Cups here offering love, but we have this card saying the grass is greener on the other side because it is fake. So I'm wondering, is this the King of Cups energy? Is he being fake? He's usually a pretty solid offer. Or is it the Emperor energy? What's this about? Okay, so it's going to be about perception. All right. We have the Emperor energy. So the Emperor, this also could be your energy. Sometimes when a king shows up and there's an Emperor, this can be talking about an emperor that, like the emperor embodies he's from the major arcana, and he embodies the qualities of all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one person. So sometimes when kings and the emperor show up at the beginning of a reading like this, it can talk about this energy of the king's journey towards becoming an emperor. We'll see as we go here. The emperor is all about performance. He actually wears his armor underneath his robe because in a moment's notice, he's ready for any opportunity that comes up. And also, if he has to get up and fight, he will. But he doesn't usually have to. This is very alpha male energy. So this is someone that, the beta males usually leave him alone because they figure that he'll probably clean their clock if they approach him in an aggressive manner. This is someone that's highly respected, like that has, is good at everything, that they're at the top of what they're doing, whatever that may be. They're considered to be wise, an authority figure. Quite often they do represent someone who has the authority to call the shots, for sure. And sometimes this energy can be a little bit my way or the highway. It doesn't have to be, but sometimes that's the energy. And then we have justice coming in. So there's this definitely could represent a Supreme Court judge or someone like that, someone that's very high up and has authority to, in the courts of the land. This justice energy is talking about, like, she's sitting in between these two pillars of justice, and she has in her right hand, she has this sword of justice that she's ready to wield as soon as she's given notice, possibly from the emperor. So this is representing how justice comes in from the spiritual realm first and foremost, spiritual law, and then it comes down to the physical. And it's when she gets the word, like the Most High has already made judgment. And so spiritual court is complete, and now it's about bringing this down to earth. So she's ready at a moment's notice to make sure that this justice is served. And this sometimes can talk about the energy of, like, karma coming in. And a lot of people think that karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect of your actions, sometimes even of your inactions. Like, you could have direct karma because you did something to someone and you knew that they were going to suffer because of it and it was unfair, but you did it anyway because it would benefit you. Or sometimes it can be inactions when you can see that someone, you would have the authority or the ability to stop someone from having to suffer that's innocent, but you just let it go because for whatever reason, it doesn't suit you to do it. And we can have indirect karma, which can sometimes talk about leftover karma from our ancestors, and it's about cleaning up the bloodline. The associations with other people as well, like business partners or friends, family members sometimes, that sort of energy. And that would be indirect karma. And then we have karmic spaces, which anyone can fall into very easily. We're all human. We make mistakes. That's the energy that... but it's basically cause and effect for what has happened. And then this is talking about the Four of Cups is talking about being disappointed in love. Now, quite often this can talk about romantic love, but it doesn't have to be. We do have like a cup of love being offered here, some sort of justice coming in, and the perception that the grass was greener on the other side. So I'm like, well, okay, let's keep going here, because there's definitely someone disappointed here. And if it is about the grass being greener, and this is talking about a third-party energy, and it could be represented here. There is 3 cups here instead of 2. And this person is definitely disappointed. They're sitting under this tree and they look very disappointed. So if this is romantic love, there could have been a third-party energy here. And sometimes this 4th cup being handed over could sometimes represent even a pregnancy occurring, but not within the couple. And so that can be that sort of energy. And then if this can also talk about someone that that you could be romantically involved, or it could be a friend or family member, a partner in business, that sort of thing. This could represent having given someone 3 chances, but they've disappointed you 3 times, and now they're asking for another chance, and you're like, no, thank you. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm done. That type of energy. Then this also can talk about sometimes, the cups can represent something you love to do and something you love to be. So this could just be talking about someone, having 3 different relationships in love and failing in them. And the universe is saying, well, give it another go. You're young, And he's like, I don't want to go back out on the dating scene. I think I'm going to take a rest from it for a while. I feel like so disappointed. None of these 3 relationships worked out, and I had high hopes at the beginning, but it didn't turn out. And this also could represent a project maybe that you've been trying to get off the ground. And maybe in the past, every time you tried to launch it, it just didn't work out. So, and it could also talk about, family members or, friends, whatever, someone really disappointing you. Different people disappointing you in different ways. And we have the energy, though, is you don't want to sit here too long because, like, look at this guy. He's pretty young. I mean, you don't want to give up on love at this point here, but you sometimes have to get over your disappointment. And definitely it could have something to do with perception around that. Like maybe there was a third party involvement in the past for you. If this is like talking about your energy and, maybe the King of Cups is ready, like has worked through that and is ready to give a cup of love. Now that could be you, or you could be the one that they want to offer the cup of love, or perhaps it's the Emperor, or perhaps the King is the Emperor. We don't know as of yet. You might have an idea if this is your reading. We have the moon coming in, and that has been coming up a lot. There's been a lot of moon energy coming in. And I feel that's because we just had the new moon as I'm doing this reading on the 14th, and this will be out on the 18th. Yes, today is the 17th, yeah. So I'm doing this right now on the evening of the 17th, and this will be out tomorrow morning. So this is talking about, hidden illusions, secrets coming out. Sometimes this can represent the energy. This lobster is climbing out of the emotional waters and wants to get on the path of glory here. A path of glory is when you're following your destined path. But there's this dog and this wolf howling at the moon, and he's like, man, how am I going to get past these two and not be seen? Like, he feels very vulnerable here also. And this is talking about, maybe having been isolating yourself and being a little too domestic. Or it could sometimes represent you've been a wild child and, maybe you need to come home and check if you have any mail. That sort of energy. You may, and so this is talking about trying to stay, balanced in this journey and staying in between on this path. And we have the 2 pillars here as well. So this card is about not getting distracted by hidden illusions and secrets that are trying to trick you sometimes. And that can be about your perception. The grass might have been greener and then you find out it's fake. That doesn't only happen in romantic relationships, though. A lot of times it could be with businesses or, a project you started, and then you realize, I really always thought that I wanted to do this. And now that I'm doing it, I'm thinking, well, I can cross that one off my list. It's that sort of energy. And so this is talking also, and the other side of this is that you could have green grass. If you want it, all you have to do is make sure you prepare the soil properly, plant the seed, make sure you pick the weeds so it has the grass comes in, water it, fertilize it, and cut it often. The more often you cut grass, the better it looks, really, as long as then you don't cut it too short. So it can be like how much work do you want to put into something? Sometimes it's about that. And so in the moon and the sun and in the background, it's talking about the sun, a full moon, and a new moon. And so this can be talking about eclipse season, and we did have eclipse season on February 17th and also on March 3rd. And so we're getting close to halfway through that energy. The eclipse energy, it lasts for about 6 months, so it's very like subtle in the background, kind of nuance, But sometimes when you look back, like the eclipse season will end around mid-August. And when you look back at that energy, you might be like, whoa, I got a lot done here. And you might have been busier than you thought you were and didn't realize how much progress you've made, or maybe not made. You maybe thought you made more progress than you did, or you made way more progress than that you thought you had in a project or whatever. And you look back and you say, wow, like this is really, I've made some really good strides here. And generally, I find that when I do that, like especially if you journal a little bit and you make sure like you write down your goals, like at the beginning of an eclipse season, when you look back, like then just don't look at it. And then when you look back 6 months later, you might be really surprised at what all you wrote down that you wanted to achieve, that you have actually accomplished a lot of it, but you forgot that that was your goal. So it's good sometimes to write that down. Like when you write down your goals, you're way more likely to follow them. For some reason, that's coming up for this reading. And then we have being very focused on the pentacle energy right now. So pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And of course, this is the element of earth and earthly matters and matter on earth. So we're talking about money as a big part of that. And that's why the pentacle is represented by coins. But, you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. So this is talking about having the lifestyle. On this particular card, though, is talking about making money, because it's the only card in tarot where the person is literally hammering out a coin. So when I say like making money, I mean literally. But this is saying you've been very focused on making money, working hard to make money. And this is talking about, you may have started a project and you have 6 to go, or you have 6 and you're on the 7th and you only have 1 to go. In this energy, like it could be talking about maybe you've had to put down this project and then pick it back up again, and it just hasn't launched. And now maybe this time you're, just about to, you just launched it, or and now you're having to work on it again because it didn't work, and you're wondering like, like I'm just frustrated. I don't know if I want to keep working on this project or not. This is talking about immature competition. So of all the cards in tarot, this one is also the only one with this wand energy where adolescents are actually like fighting with each other. Now the energy of the wands is fire, and so the wands are made of wood, and wood fuels fire. So this is about taking passionate action, and so these are battling each other. So sometimes this can represent sibling rivalry. It can talk about immature competition as well. So sitting on this energy here, this can be talking about, like, this is my Mean Girls card. So you think about immature cheerleaders, and they're at a cheerleading competition and they really want to win that trophy. They might be in grade 6 to like grade 10. Like we're talking, that age group, adolescent energy. And they can see there's another team there that definitely has the moves better than they do. And but they want that trophy. And so they're willing to cheat if they have to. They'll do whatever they have to get that trophy. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to get it for them. And so that's the kind of energy. And, immature competition like that, hopefully we mature out of that and we start to realize we're not really competing with anyone, even if we're at a sporting event or we're at, maybe competing for a position at work, or maybe even if you want to compete over someone in love. That doesn't make sense, but some people do that. This energy can talk about, thinking that you're not in competition with yourself. But you're really, when you think about it, anytime you put yourself out there, if you could just be 1% better than you are now, you only have to be 1% better than the other team actually to win. So if everybody on the team has that attitude, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to do my best. Like we see this other team, they clearly are better than us and they deserve that trophy more than us. So what we're going to do is we're going to study what they're doing, and we're going to see if we can do those moves too, and maybe maybe even do it better than them. Get ourselves, if everybody on the team has this attitude. They're just, even if everybody on the team is 1% better and everybody comes together as a team, it can go a really long way. And especially if that's the attitude every time you go out to a practice or that sort of energy. In the end, you're really competing with yourself, basically. And why not use the competition to inspire you and to learn from it so that you don't have to learn things so much the hard way. Then when you win the trophy, you actually deserve it, and it feels really good to win. And we have the Nine of Cups here. And so the Nine of Cups is talking about, this can talk about you could be a public figure, or perhaps maybe the person that's interested in you here, or something to do with this justice, whatever is happening here. Is a public figure. And so this is talking about the way that he's sitting on the stage. His body language is a little bit incongruent. His feet are turned out like this. If you think about a car, and you think about like if he had to get up and move as a car and his wheels were like this, he wouldn't get very far. If your feet are forward, at any time you can just get up and go. And so this is leaking masculine and feminine energy from the sacral chakra, or from the base chakra, sorry. And so this energy is talking about surviving on planet Earth, basically, in the 3D. It's talking about, your fears of survival and overcoming them, that type of energy. So it really can leak the energy. It's talking about a lack of focus, basically. But you look at his upper body language, and his arms almost look like he's making an infinity symbol here. So, it's kind of like this person knows how to be successful. He's almost like a genie. He might just be feeling like he knows that he hasn't won as of yet, but he's highly favored. And maybe the people in the audience feel like he's going to win, because he always does. But he knows better than that. He knows that he's highly favored, but he knows that, maybe they're clapping for him as if he already won, and he's thinking, he can size up the competition pretty good himself and know, okay, but he's not going to cheat. He's just going to pull himself together and do the best job that he can. This is talking about the Nine of Cups is one away from the 10 of Cups. And so if he get this energy, remember all the figures in tarot are archetypes. So the male figures and the female figures are not gender specific. They're talking about masculine and feminine energy. So this could be a woman in her masculine energy, and this could be a female in her masculine energy. So it just depends. So this is talking about, him, are these cups, these 9 cups that are lined up behind him here, are they from the past, or is this happening in the present? Is this happening in the future? When did this perception of the grass being greener on the other side happen? And did it have to do with love? Inquiring minds want to know. And then we have this energy about 2 of Pentacles energy. This is talking about being very busy, and it can be talking about multitasking. Now, multitasking is a really good skill to have. But this is saying, when you multitask, you have to be sure that the energy of multitasking, that you don't multitask to the point where you have more quality or quantity than quality work, and then you end up doing things twice. So this is talking about being really busy. And I don't know if you've ever been in that position where, you're really busy, but it just seems like the momentum keeps building, and before you know it, you get busier and busier, and before you know it, your whole life is just busy, and you're wondering, how did I get so busy? And it's talking about that, being careful not to get to that point where, you're juggling so much that, there's more quantity than quality to your work. You want to make sure that you don't get to that point. And sometimes this energy can be talking about, especially with the pentacle energy, like juggling 2 lifestyles. It can represent like the energy of, work and play. And it can also represent maybe having going to school and working to pay for the school, or having 2 jobs to make ends meet, that kind of energy. And it also sometimes can talk about juggling options. This card is saying juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And with this, the grass is greener on the other side, with a cup of love coming in here. You have to ask, is someone juggling morals here? And we do have it sitting on justice and this disappointment in love energy. So, Then we have, look at this. We have the Queen of Cups energy here. So if the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups come out in reading, they usually are a couple already. So this Queen of Cups and King of Cups are probably a couple. And she would be like a definitely wife material. This is someone who would be the most likely of the four queens to be in a relationship in a traditional marriage. Her cup of love, she would be like a home person, like this would be kind of like trad wife energy, someone who loves the home and building a home and having like, her cup of love is very generous. She has a lot of love for her family and for, like her community. And she she has a lid on her cup saying that she's a container of unconditional love. And so the king and the queen, sometimes when they come together, she can be representing maternal energy, like your maternal bloodline, and he can be representing the paternal bloodline. So this could be like a father figure. This could represent your grandfather, great-grandfather down your paternal bloodline. It could represent uncles, brothers, people that you consider to be like father figures. And this could be, this maternal energy can sometimes represent, your mother, your grandmother, great-grandmother, the maternal bloodline, DNA quite often, because there's certain factors in DNA because of the mitochondria being passed down just to from the mother to the daughter and not to the sons. Sometimes it's specifically talking about DNA energy. This also can be talking about adoption, that kind of energy. And I don't know, like now we have this couple here, and I feel like this energy might not be so much a cup of love romantically. It could be the emperor wanting to offer a cup of love. It could be that energy instead of this being, because now that this is a couple, quite often when this energy comes out together in a reading, it can indicate, your parents or your maternal and paternal bloodline. And you might be like an adult child of these two. And this might have something to do with maybe way back when there was this energy of, the grass was greener, and maybe there's an energy of someone else in the family that you don't know about, or that you are the adult child of a tryst or something that your maternal energy had. We don't know yet. It doesn't have to be that, but it could be. Just bringing out all the possibilities here. And we have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is talking about really having to juggle those pentacles. This is, maybe between two households, that sort of thing. Because this is talking about having a foundation, like this is, and it's interesting because out of all the Pentacle cards, these are the two that are specifically about money. This one is about making money, and this one is about the three levels of making money. And so we're talking, this is the Four of Pentacles isn't a lot of money. This would be like, working a job every day, going to work and not having enough to pay your bills. It'd be probably not quite middle class energy, or maybe middle class energy, almost on the verge of that kind of energy. So this is talking about having enough to pay your bills and having a strong foundation, having a good work ethic, but not necessarily being able to have a lot left over to invest or to have fulfill your heart's desires, and or your crown and glory. And the crown and glory energy, we're talking about being able to do what it is that you want to do whenever you want to do it in life, living that kind of lifestyle. And it's just interesting because there's justice here about this money. And sometimes this energy can be talking about selling yourself short, or there being a shortfall somewhere. He's got his back to the city, and quite often this is representing the city that you came from. And it can be really challenging to be a hero in your own hometown. Sometimes this energy is talking about needing to leave your comfort zone. Maybe you've passed by on opportunities. Like this is this energy is something you're wishing for, but you don't have yet. And so you have to stay in the race and stay focused. And this energy is having a lot of juggling to do. And it is talking about, and sometimes this can represent juggling two lifestyles. And so, that could be a few different things here. Like these days, it could be anything really. Like it could be juggling, having someone on the side. It can talk about, different genders. It can be talking about a lot of different energies. So sometimes it can be just having two households for whatever reason to have to support that sort of energy. So let's keep going and see what is this about. We have a cup of love coming in though. So this, and God is saying this is divine, this is a divine cup of love. So it could be, you might be very solid with you might be married to someone and you have a beautiful relationship together. And that it could be talking about that energy. And maybe you've been through some sort of disappointment in business more, and it's more about that, and you're looking for justice to come in. Sometimes this energy can be talking about making money illegally, like literally making money, like counterfeit, money laundering, that type of energy. Perhaps you had a business and someone was selling you short, or some sort of energy like that. It could be because of the disappointment. If this is not about romantic love, because the king and queen are usually, a traditionally married couple. And so this cup of love could be talking about just clarifying that, hey, it's not this couple. It could be talking about the emperor that is offering a cup of love here. And we have the dove here saying this would be a peaceful love. Or, it could be talking about them having a peaceful, and it's not about them. Maybe it's about your parents or your grandparents, something happening with them. It could, just take it how it works for you. I'm just reading it as in all the directions that are coming up. Take what works for you, leave the rest. And everybody has a different cup of tea, basically. So, perception, the way that I saw this in my vision, it was talking about being very logical and then also being very intuitive and creative, and how it appeared so differently in in that vision. It was like, wow, there's such a big difference between the two energies. But if you put them together, it could be really powerful. Because you're seeing both sides of the story then. And so this is talking about, this is God saying, no, this is a divine love coming in. So I do feel that this is talking about a cup of love coming through. And you might have had disappointing love, and you're saying, I don't want to be vulnerable again. I don't know if I want to even go there. It's that type of energy. So this is God saying again, and the universe saying again, come on. This is guaranteed by God. Are you serious? You're going to turn that down? Come on, you're too young for that. So let's see what happens here. We have, and this is like the marriage, like this is, a lot of people feel this is the official marriage card of the tarot. So this is an opportunity. This could be saying that this could be an everlasting love. That's what this is representing, a beautiful connection where it has the potential maybe to be like your parents who have this beautiful connection together, an everlasting love that you grow old together in a marriage, and take the cup. It's that type of energy. So this is talking about a strong foundation for fulfillment. In a perfectly imperfect world. So it's saying, hey, you have the down payment for your castle, and you have, you're still going to have to make the mortgage payments. It could be saying, okay, you've met and you've proposed, and they have said yes, and they do want to marry you. This is going to be has the potential to last forever as long as you put the energy into it, into the the wedding's all exciting in that, but you need to put the energy into the relationship. And then we have this energy coming in. This is God's judgment that you should have this after being disappointed in the past. That's what I feel this is talking about now. There may have been some hidden illusions about your relationship, and it might have been someone that you were in business with as well as in a relationship with. So it really affected your pentacles. You're hard at work here, and the next thing you know, you're down to this from 8. So it's like, you know, when people get divorced, they end up splitting assets, and it's kind of like having to start over again. So maybe you're someone that is divorced or separated, and you've always wanted to have this kind of relationship, and God is saying you could have that. You just quit, let me pick someone for you. This could be saying, you know, that the person that God picks for you could be very different from your usual type. And God's saying that's the point. And the ancestors are cheering because they've had this and they feel you deserve to have it too. It could be that kind of energy. Judgment is coming in from the Most High. The ancestors and descendants are cheering back and forth. Sometimes this energy can represent the energy of skeletons falling out of the closet as well. And it can also represent Pandora's box being opened. So, you know, there's a mixed bag here. But this is sitting on this staying focused on your plan, you know, and maybe you're just super, super duper busy and you've been busy making money. And because you want to have more than this to offer in a marriage. You will know if it's your reading here. We have now the King of Wands coming in. So we do have a different king. If this is some sort of justice coming in about something, this could be a judge energy. And this now could be, because the King of Wands is considered to be like the sexiest king, passionate. This is someone that, you know, he's the element of fire. And it's talking about, you know, this would be saying that if this is the king that's offering a cup of love, this could be talking about this king here, because we have another king. If it's talking about a king offering a cup of love and it's steady like your parents had, that type of energy. Not like what you've been experiencing in the past here. This is justice. This is God's justice. You deserve to have this love after everything you've been through. And this could be talking about life, you know, a big change in your lifestyle from any other relationship that you've had. So the King of Wands is, he is, as I said, he's considered to be very sexy, charismatic, someone that, a visionary. This is someone that's a lot of fun to be with. He has a tendency, like all the fire signs, you know, on the back of his throne here, we have the salamanders in a circle with the lion, and that represents protection from fire. But I notice there's a face here, and it's like the eyes and the nose with the mustache, and then the smoke coming out. And I'm thinking, you know, it could just mean that he's smoking hot, or sometimes it could be where there's smoke, there's fire, because we have this card here as well. So out of all the kings, he's the least likely to settle down until later in life. So that could be after having all these experiences that you've had and he's had. You could be this King of Wands, or you could be the Emperor. I feel the Emperor is someone bringing in this justice, an authority figure that's been watching what's been going on here. Maybe I feel more with this situation over here. So it could be a little bit of both. And then at the top we have, we have the Three of Pentacles energy. And so this energy is talking about you being at the top of your game here. That, you know, this is talking about career a lot of the time. It's talking about mastering your skill set and being in a place where other people want to collaborate with you right now. And it's kind of interesting that this, of all cards, shows up like, what is this about? This might be what the perception is about, because this is talking about, it's great that you're in this position where other people are recognizing your work. It's awesome. But this quite often can represent someone who's a little bit younger and you're just finishing up school kind of energy. Quite often this can represent someone who is in the entertainment industry. you know, like an actor, an actress, a musician. This could represent pro sports, that sort of energy. This is talking about people noticing. Like you might be an amazing singer, and someone wants to produce records with you, and or put you on tour. Or this could represent an energy of, you're an actor, an actress, and this is, you have the lead role in one of the next Hollywood blockbusters, and they're approaching you. This could represent being very good at sports, and these are scouts coming to offer you scholarships to their college or university, or better yet, you're already there, and now they're offering you a position on a pro team in your sport. It can represent sculptors, like this energy. There's a spotlight being shown, and he's in an elevated position. So this is saying, be very careful, because you are in an elevated position. Make sure that any contracts or agreements that you sign, that you have someone like this, someone who knows what they're talking about. And this could definitely be that energy. Or there's some judgment over a contract that you're trying to release yourself from, because that's why you're busy juggling here. And being on state, like this being very public. So this sometimes can represent an energy, like what we're seeing out in the world right now, where the elites at the top in a lot of these industries, there's a lot of secret society energy behind them. There's a lot of, wild judgments being made right now because of the information coming out from those files that were leaked. This can be representing, the energy of, there's a lot of the political figures, like there's a lot of unrest in the world right now. And it's like we're seeing it on live, like on the internet 24/7. If you want to watch it, you can. And so it's talking about a lot of truth coming out. And I feel that energy, Uranus moved into Gemini about a month ago, and that energy, we haven't seen that since 1941 to 1949, and I feel it's really significant for us right now on this planet. It's talking about a lot of judgment coming in about situations that maybe since the last time Uranus was in Gemini in 1941 to 1949 is when World War II was happening, and then the end of, the aftermath of that, and the insecurity in the world, etc. And so this energy, this can be talking about that type of energy of, what happened back then, 1941 to 1949. That was some time ago. And we're going to be in this energy for the next 7.5 to 8 years till 2033. And the thing is that the bottom line is Uranus in Gemini wants truth to come out. And so whatever version that is, right? And so this is talking about the truth coming out about some sort of situation. I feel that's what this is talking about. I feel this is probably this energy between that's what the paternal and maternal energy, I was picking that up. That maybe this is like some sort of justice coming in from way back when, and maybe there's some pentacles that are missing that have been found, There was a lot of that happening back then. So that would be like awesome news. And then plus it's talking about this relationship coming in, and maybe this King of Wands is ready to settle down, and you're ready to settle down. You might be this energy. The only queen we have out here is already taken, and someone's offering a couple of. So, I feel that that's the parents, but there could be something different going on. I'm going to clarify this because it bugs me, but we'll just look from the information we have here. We have the Emperor, which is high performance. The Queen of Cups, who is most likely, this could be, if this Emperor is you, this could be your parents or, and grandparents' energy. Then this energy here is talking about, I feel, having to divide assets. We have 8 coins here that you worked very hard for, and now there's only 4. I feel there could have been a divorce or something in this this energy here. So I don't feel this is talking about this couple. I feel this is talking about your love life. Maybe you have had a divorce and you've had to divide assets, and that's why you've been hard at work. And now this energy, you might be in this energy now where you feel like, okay, I finally have things settled. I'm ready to date again. I'm ready to offer, go out there and meet someone. And this is talking about being really careful about who you do that with. Marriage is a contract, right? And so it could be like, being very careful about that and having learned a lot from the divorce situation very easily. And God could be saying, this is different though. This is a love that will last forever. And you've learned so much from this situation that you can take that learning, and you're in an elevated position because of it. This is God's judgment, not just yours, on this love. So it's saying, hey, this could be a really good relationship that really goes a long way. One of you two could be public figures or both. And this is leading to a committed relationship of some sort, for sure. It could be marriage. It could be commitment in business and marriage, whatever this is. It could just be business, whatever, take it how it resonates with you. And this is talking about, understanding that, hey, the competition is within me. I got to keep my cool. I got to keep my shift together. And if there was any money missing, and maybe because this is talking about the ancestors cheering, yay, finally, you might be clearing karma for your bloodline here. And that's why they're so happy. Finally, some justice to a situation maybe they went through. And it might have been back in that time frame, 1941 to 1949, some sort of energy that happened back then. So we'll keep going here and see what else is going on here. We have my oracle tales from the Vector, and the numbers on the cards here are representing the numbers of the paintings as they're listed on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I'll put them in the description box below in the order they appear here. So if you want to check them out, you can. They say a painting can paint 1,000 words. And this may give further clarity. All right, now we've already talked about this. So this is talking about surrender. This is psychic energy. So definitely your ancestors might be trying to tell you something. Pay attention in your dreams. Sometimes it's cold in here. There must be something in the atmosphere. That's what from an energy of a movie. Now I can't remember the name of it at this point, but this is talking about an energy of psychic energy. And so it's talking about sometimes when our ancestors that have across the veil, they are maybe coming in and in our dreams and that. And sometimes when they're around, you'll feel a cool breeze. A lot of people experience that, or you get goosebumps. And so I'm just getting them now talking about it. And then falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So this is talking about healing your heart. And this is justice coming in. I feel if this isn't about something that happened in the past to do with pentacle energy, like with money, it could be representing justice coming in because of what happened to you was unfair. And this card is saying falling and failing in love is a matter of I. And you have to love yourself enough to heal from this kind of energy so that you can move forward and get the love that you deserve. You could be angry about what happened. There could have been a lot of anger here. And the thing that's really interesting is when the ancestors are so happy like this, sometimes there could have been something that did happen back whenever, and now you're helping to clear that karma for the whole bloodline. So for your descendants and all the descendants in the bloodline, which is a huge thing. And the thing about anger, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because angry people raise angry children. And before you know it, great-grandmother was pissed off, way back when. And now grandmother raised, she raised angry children, and grandmother raised angry children, and it just keeps getting passed down until it's cleared. And so anger is one way that people can motivate themselves to get shift done, but it's one of the most toxic ways to do so. And then we have destruction. So I feel like this energy, this is a tactic, and it's when there's people out there that they want something and they're willing to destroy for it. And so, you know, we see that a lot on the planet all over the place. And it's kind of like, it can be really disheartening sometimes to see. It's kind of like some people, you know, like to step on other people's heads to get to the top of the pyramid is basically what I'm saying. And so that destruction can be really, you know, it can be where you're wondering, like, you know, is this really progress when you see it happening? And we also have the karmic space of indifference. So, yeah, you know, when people are saying, hey, we're all in it together, we're a work in progress, but in actual fact, they've become indifferent to other people's suffering. And it's just like, it's just, you know, talk. It's not real. It's indifferent. And, you know, when I was in ceremony, Jesus was there, and Jesus told me that the opposite of love is not hate. Hate means that you still have some emotion there. The opposite of love is disrespect. So that was interesting. And the Empress energy is talking about being elevated sometimes to that level. Now, this is interesting because this Empress energy is sitting on this love here. And so this could be representing an energy of an Empress energy, and you might be the Emperor, and you feel that you have found your Empress on this love. Like, you're like, whoa, I think I found them, you know. This is the Empress energy and the Emperor energy. Remember, they embody the qualities of the all four kings or all four queens, and it's through life experience and having learned a lot from it, and doing your best to be a good person and stay on the path. So this would be a very good match here. If this is an Emperor and an Empress coming together, that would be like a power couple. This would be the Taurus energy coming in here. This is learning the give and take of giving and receiving. Venus is rules over love, and this is also Pentacle energy. The Taurus energy, it's the second sign in the zodiac. And so this energy is learning about give and take. Like, if you give a toddler, you know, if you try and take a toddler's toy, or you try and get them to share, they can throw a real temper tantrum like a bull, you know, dig in their heels and be very stubborn. They're very, very lovable, but when they dig their heels in, that energy can be like a bull in a china shop when they throw a tantrum. And this, you know, the give and take of life can be really challenging, especially when it comes to love. And it's sitting right here on this energy where I feel people had to divide assets. So this is, you know, sometimes that can be really challenging to do in a calm way. And then we have disruption. So what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. Yeah, if there was a third party energy somewhere, and the grass is greener on the other side, that type of energy, it's not as much fun for the one person as the other. And it's another tactic that can be used to abuse power. Look at that. Now, you know, this Emperor and Empress are a power couple. There's judgment coming in about something that happened here, an abuse of power. It's sitting right on here, and so God's judgment is, I feel that this Emperor and Empress come together after everything they've been through. And I don't know why, you know, like this would be, you know, when this love is coming in from God, it would be someone that you normally wouldn't be with. And that's probably because when you were down here in this disappointed energy, you might have been angry, and you might also have been just, you know, newly divorced in that, and went through quite a bit there. And there could have also been some sort of energy, but maybe the justice is just learning how to love yourself so that you can get back in an energy where you can become like with someone that is, you know, a traditional, more, it wouldn't even have to be traditional so much, but more like someone you could really count on, that type of energy. And then we have at the top, the lovers. So yeah, someone who adores you and you adore them. I do feel that this is definitely talking about two people coming together that have experienced a lot of, you know, ups and downs in life, and they're coming together, and that's why they're a perfect match. But one's at an Emperor energy because of it, and the other one's at an Empress energy. So when the two come together, that's a power couple. So it definitely, because this is at the center right here. If the Emperor finally found his match, it could be about that. And that's a matter of perception, of course. And this is talking about a divine this is talking about the same energy, like this energy, a divine couple that has been, it's been God's choice that you come together. It's part of God's plan. So maybe there's something to do together that you're destined to do together, and now it's time. And so you had to learn all this before you could meet up. It could be that type of energy. It's been an interesting reading. I do hope that you've enjoyed it. Give it a like and comment if you have. If you're consider subscribing if you resonate. I really do appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. I appreciate all the likes, comments, and I'd like to know if this resonates with you in some way, because I still feel like there's some sort of energy coming in from that time frame. It's been coming up in a lot of the readings, and it may just be because we're in similar energy on planet Earth right now. All right, bye for now. I'll have another daily reading for you again tomorrow.